Welcome to Western Perspective. I'm Madeline Lombardi. WAMN News caught up with Leon Rury from Haka for Life to discuss the recent passing of a leader within their organisation, Jamie Schuster. In Candid Moments, Mr. Rury uncovers memories of Jamie's life and the legacy he left behind. Okay, so Leon, it's been quite a while since we've spoken, since October last year. Can you tell us a little bit about what Haka for Life has been doing since the time we've been away?
Yeah, we were quite active last time that we saw, with the tragedy that took place in Perth, and obviously our hearts have been with Michelle Turby and the family there and sort of things that are continuing there. But for Haka for Life, our focus then shifted into Mardi Gras. We were a part of World Pride, and proud to say that we put a float in the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras each and every year, and it was great for us to return back there to Sydney. We had a 80-person float this year. It was one of the most diverse, probably the most diverse float entry that we've had ever as part of our participation there, which is all around suicide prevention. So we're quite busy with that. Our team was busy. World Pride had 1.6 million people there this year, so it was something really, really special that we're a part of. And all the indicators are there for us to continue creating conversations and holding space for the LGBT community as well too. So we're very active there. And then only last week we were part of the Anzac Day, Indigenous Anzac Day service that we held for only the second time ever at the Supreme Court Gardens here in Perth, which is something that we're so passionate about, about recognising the Anzacs, but also about having our cultures recognised on Anzac Day, because currently the Indigenous cultures of both Australia and New Zealand are not included on main day Anzac Day services in Australia, and it's something that I really want to be a part of Anzac Days moving forward.
I think that's something that we spoke about last week, or on Anzac Day. We had that conversation about including more multicultural backgrounds and, of course, Indigenous cultures as well within the Anzac Day conversation, because they are a huge part of Anzac Day and the history celebrated around that as well. So we've recently learned of the passing of Jamie Schuster, a leader in the Haka for Life movement. Can you tell us about how his death has impacted the Haka for Life community and your community as well?
Yeah, it's been emotional. You're asking the question. We're standing on a spot where I met Jamie here, literally right here, on Anzac Day 2017, and it's been heartbreaking. It's been hard for many of our Haka for Life family and our extended community here in Perth, our Noongar community. We created the world's first ever haka and corroboree together as well, and he was an instrumental part of that. We travelled to America together. We went and done the world's first haka on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, as well as the first ever Anzac Day Haka for Life, which really birthed the opportunity for haka and corroboree to be, to be able to be present on Anzac Day. But it's been deeply emotional. It comes in waves, and times of sadness, much sadness there at this time. But sadly, it's something that happens far too often in our country, and it's something that we're still a strong advocate to stand that people choose life. This passing of Jamie is a prime example that suicide does not discriminate. People, no matter who you are or where you are, struggle with different things in life, and our brother Jamie was no different to me or to you or to anybody out there. So it's important for us to be able to create these conversations, to normalise these conversations, so that we remove the uncomfortability of conversations where someone, be it Jamie or someone else, has taken their life, where people are not sure how to have these conversations, and they quite often won't have them. They'll avoid trying to talk through the emotions that come up, the reasons why, and I just think that there's a great opportunity for us to celebrate his life and to celebrate those that have taken their lives. It's many people are critical of people that take their lives, not me. That's just not a thing that's present at all. It's to understand and connect and celebrate his life, and realise that there's opportunities for us to have conversations with people, and if there's a learning out of this situation, it's to check in regularly on how your friends are.
I have to agree with you there. I think one thing that from listening to what you were saying, that uncomfortability that people have about talking about suicide, and that can be quite hard to really talk about those conversations. And what Haka for Life celebrates is, in particular, men's and everybody's mental health. it's important to keep that conversation going, which is why I thank you for talking with us today, and also, you know, talking about Jamie's life. And I want to ask you next, in your own words, what were some impactful things Jamie implemented as a leader in the Haka for Life community and group in celebration of his life?
Yeah, he was really dedicated to what we call rangatahi, you know, to young people, to the youth. He just had a real heart for the youth, and part of his dream was to see that we pass culture on to youth here, you know, that they had a foundation to create and build their lives from. He instilled culture in us, you know, the importance of what we call tikanga, of protocols and why they remain in place. You know, there was a certain level of so I'd say professionalism, but a certain level of commitment that Jamie brought toward our cultural exchanges. You know, that I remember as an example, just here behind us at Kings Park in 2018 for the world's first ever haka and corroboree for an Anzac Day service, and I'll forever remember. You know, I was talking to the media and sorting out those sorts of things. I had my job, and the brother had his job, and his job was to, you know, to connect our culture and our people to what was about to take place. And I remember looking back across the grass there and just seeing him in all his glory. You know, not that he did it for glory; he did it because he loved our culture so much. But just to see him standing there with his taiaha and everybody ready, you know, and it's just something that I'll never ever forget. You know, the commitment that he gave when we would haka, like, you know, I'll never forget here, our first ever haka. The scene that he set for us as our kaiwero to be able to haka, and that's one thing that I'll always remember of him. Mm-hmm. And then his gentleness. You know, he had this extraordinary guy that could be deemed as intimidating when he's in his full presence of, you know, taiaha and maurako, and then there was the playful side, the goofy side of him, that he had the world's worst dad jokes. You know, it was just such it's like an enigma. You know, there's one extreme to the other, and there's this fierce warrior, and then there's this man that's got the world's driest dad jokes, and the playfulness, and you know, his ability to listen, and he would make time stand still when you were in conversations, especially if you're expressing you know, things that are on your heart. You really had a heart for people. That's one thing that I'll always remember about him, and I know that people that know Jamie would absolutely relate to that. He just had a beautiful heart for listening to people, and you know, those are the things that we'll carry forward in our recognition and honour of Jamie forever.
Mm-hmm. He sounds like a beautiful person, someone who had a lot of power and leadership as well within the community. I want to know, is there a memorial service coming up for Jamie, and when will it be held? Yeah,
we've got a funeral service for Jamie here in Perth on Tuesday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Pittaroo Cemetery, and that's a service for people here in Perth because he was well known in this community. He's worked for many years with Rio Tinto up in the FIFO industry, and you know, his death has really impacted and affected a lot of people. Firstly, his partner Megan and the boys, and obviously his mum and dad and his children back in New Zealand, and many people. So we're very honoured to be able to have the opportunity to farewell Jamie here in Perth, and so grateful to the family that they've been able to organise that. And then we're actually a big group of us are travelling back to New Zealand to take his body back home and to return him back to his people, the Te Arawa tribe. So you know, it's still a fair journey ahead of us, but an opportunity for us to really farewell a rangatira, you know, somebody that's so special.
And that was Leon Ruri from Haka for Life. You can read our weekly premium news stories on the WAMN Extra News Club, supporting independent local news and keeping democracy strong. And now, here's Leo Puglisi with what's coming up on 6 News Tonight.
Thanks, guys. On 6 News, Scott Morrison, believed to be the next Liberal MP to go after ex-Minister Stuart Robert quit Parliament, triggering another by-election. Job seekers set to increase by up to $40 a fortnight, with power bill relief also expected as Tuesday's budget approaches. And King Charles III crowned amid anti-monarchy protests in the UK, 52 arrested during the coronation. Watch live on our YouTube channel and our website, 6newsau.com. For now, though, it is back to you.
Thanks, Leo. And that's all from Western Perspective this week. We'll be back with you next Sunday. Until then, Ivan and Melly, it's back to you two.
Thanks, Maddie. And that's our weekly news and current affairs. We have the latest news on our website, wamnnews.com.au.
Don't forget to subscribe to the WAMN Extra News Club so we can continue our work in the community. Full details on wamnnews.com.au/news/extra. From Melly and myself, wish you good health, good night. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for watching.